Hello dear students, our chapter 4 is metals and non-metals. So in this chapter we will learn about metals and non-metals, their physical and chemical properties and their uses. So let us start. So students, we see a lot of objects around us. Some of them conduct heat and electricity while some do not conduct. Some of them produce ringing sound when struck while some do not produce. Some of them get stretched on applying force while some get broken. So on the basis of these differences in properties, we classify the materials around us as metals and non-metals. Now, why do we classify them? As we are studying science, we have to study about different materials, their nature, various phenomena. So, it becomes much easier to study if we classify them into several groups. Hence, we classify the objects as metals and non-metals. There is a third category as well, which is called metalloids. Example of metalloids are boron, silicon, arsenic. But we will study about metalloids in detail in higher classes. Okay, we have to study about metals and non-metals only in this chapter. So let us start with the physical properties of metals. So the first physical property of metals is their physical state. So students, mostly the metals are solid at room temperature, like iron, zinc, copper, tin. Okay, the objects made of these materials are solid only, but there is an exception here. Mercury is the only metal that exists as liquid in room temperature. You might have seen thermometer that contains mercury. And in which state is it? Yes, it is in liquid state. Now, second property is appearance. So metals have generally a grayish appearance, but gold has yellowish, while copper looks reddish or brownish in color. Now next property is hardness. So what is the meaning of hardness? Hardness means that they are resistant to denting, scratching or bending. Metals are hard. There are some exceptions here also, like sodium and potassium. They are not hard, they are soft metals, and they are so soft that they can be cut even with a knife. Next property is luster. So what is the meaning of luster? That they have a shiny appearance. Metals have a shiny appearance, and this is also called as metallic luster. The fifth property here is malleability. So what is the meaning of malleability? It means that metals can be beaten into thin sheets by hammering or applying compressive force without breaking. Okay, so we are applying here compressive force and the metals are converted into thin sheets. This property is called as malleability. So metals are generally malleable. You might have seen aluminium foils for packaging of foodstuffs and silver foils on sweets. Okay, so these are what? These are thin sheets of metals only. Hence metals are malleable. Next one is ductility. So in malleability, what we were doing, we were checking the compressive strength of metals. In ductility, we apply tensile force. Okay, we stretch the metals. So the property of metals to be drawn into thin wires by applying tensile force or stretching force is called ductility. Silver, copper and gold are very ductile metals. Gold is the most malleable and ductile metal. It is so ductile that 1 gram of gold can be stretched into a wire of 2 kilometer length. Now next property is sonority. So metals are generally sonorous. What is the meaning of sonorous? That they produce a ringing sound on being struck. So you have seen bells and chimes. So they produce a ringing sound because they are made up of metals. So there is an activity here. So here also we have to take some objects. Some are made up of metals while some are non-metals, like metal spoon, metal pencil box, a piece of coal, it is a non-metal. Lead of a pencil, it is also a non-metal. A metal coin. Now if we drop these objects from a certain height, from equal height, and then if we hear the sounds produced, then what we will find that the metallic objects produce a ringing sound, whereas the non-metallic objects, they do not produce any ringing sound. So what does this activity proves? It proves that metals are sonorous. Now next property is conductivity, very important property. So metals are good conductors of heat as well as electricity. Because of their heat conductivity, metals are used in cooking utensils, so that heat from the gas burner gets conducted to the food and food gets cooked. They are also used in making elements like immersion rod and heater. Okay. Now metals are also good conductors of electricity, and because of their electrical conductivity, metals are used in making electric wires. Now among all the metals, silver and gold are best conductors of electricity, but electric wires are made of copper. You might have seen electric wires are generally made up of coppers and not silver or gold. Why is it so? Because if we make electric wires of silver or gold, then they will be very costlier than copper. Okay, that is why electric wires are made up of copper. Okay, now if we are talking about cost, then aluminium is also cheaper, but aluminium is not used in making electric wires. Why is it so? It is so because ductility of aluminium is low. Okay, aluminium is not very much ductile. Ductile means that it cannot be drawn into much thin wire as compared to copper. Also, if aluminium wire is bent often, then it becomes brittle. What is the meaning of the brittle word here? Brittle means like glass, that is, it gets broken or cracked easily. Okay. Now here is an activity for proof of conductivity of metals. So there are two circuits, as you can see. So in the first circuit, a rubber is placed in between, and in the second circuit a metallic piece is placed. So what we will find that the circuit with rubber piece will not glow. In the circuit, the bulb will not glow because there is a rubber, and rubber is an insulator. So electric circuit will not get completed, electric current will not flow properly, and the bulb will not glow. Now in the second circuit, there is a metal piece, and we know metals are good conductors of electricity, so the circuit will get completed and the bulb will glow. Okay. Now let us talk about the next property, which is density. So let us first understand what is the meaning of density. Density means the mass contained in a given volume. Okay, it is called ghanatva in Hindi. Ghanatva means kitna ghana hai koi cheez. Okay, like for example, if we have two blocks of equal shape and size, one block is of wood while the other one is of iron. Now if we place both of the blocks in our hand, then which one will feel heavier and which one will feel lighter? Obviously the iron block will feel heavier because it is much dense than wood. So dense means that the particles of the substance, the particles of the iron are placed very close to each other. They are packed very close to each other, tightly packed. Okay, hence its density is high, and also its weight will be more even if the size and volume is same. So metals have high densities. Okay. Now here is exception as well. Some metals like sodium, potassium, calcium, they have low densities. Among all, lithium is the least dense metal, while osmium is the densest metal. You have to remember all these facts. Okay, the least dense metal is lithium and the densest metal is osmium. Okay. Now due to higher densities, the melting point and boiling point of metals are also high. Again here sodium and potassium are exceptions, that is, they have low melting and boiling points comparatively to the other metals. Tungsten has the highest melting point. You have to again remember this fact, that tungsten has the highest melting point. Okay, and therefore tungsten is used in making filament of bulbs, which you had studied in class 7th. Okay, so these were the physical properties of metals. Now let us move to the physical properties of non-metals. So non-metals are almost opposite in their physical properties when compared to metals. So the first one is physical state. So the physical state of metals were solid, mostly solid, but here non-metals can exist as solid as well, liquid as well, gas as well. Okay, So as you can see here in the fact file, out of the 24 non-metals, 12 are solids, 11 are gases, and only one is liquid. Okay, like sulfur and phosphorus are solids, bromine is a liquid, and hydrogen and oxygen are gases at room temperature. Now next property is appearance. So non-metals are dull, they are not very shiny. Okay, they are dull or non-lustrous, but here graphite and iodine are exceptions. That is, graphite is shiny in appearance. Now third property is malleability and ductility. So metals are neither malleable nor ductile, that is, on applying force they do not get stressed or do not convert into sheets, they will get broken. If we apply force, it will get broken. Okay, so what is the meaning of non-malleable and non-ductile? It means that non-metals are brittle. What is the meaning of brittle? Like glass. So glass gets broken or converted into pieces or powder when force is applied. Okay, so non-metals are also brittle. Now diamond is an allotrope of carbon, which is the only non-metal that is hard. Actually diamond is the hardest naturally occurring substance. Okay, now next property is sonority. So metals were sonorous, which means they produce ringing sound, while non-metals are non-sonorous, that is, they do not produce any ringing sound. Last one is conductivity. So non-metals are bad conductors of electricity. Okay, so non-metals are bad conductors of heat as well as electricity, and here is an exception, that graphite is the good conductor of electricity as well and good conductor of heat as well. So you have to learn the exceptions. Okay, so all the properties which we have learned here of metals and non-metals as well is given here in the form of a table, so you can comparatively study their properties. Also the exceptions are also given. Okay, so you can learn this at home. Now we will move to the next topic in the next class. Okay, till then, goodbye.